Hello, welcome back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast. Or basically, something that wasn't a planned stream or anything like that. But I've sort of been stewing on if I should do this or not, basically. And fuck it, bite the bullet. I look shattered and tired and pissed off and everything else. But this just took the biscuit. And as I said, I sort of bit the bullet eventually after seeing other people's reactions as well. And yeah, I have to I felt I had to use the platform I have to get my point of view across and basically ask the question: was Hector right all along? Basically, about aftv and its members, so we say, well, certain members anyway. For a bit of a recap, basically a couple of years back, just before I think it was in Wenger's last season. I think it's either that or the one before, and give or take. Hector was at a university talk thing basically, and he was asked about the social media, this, that, and the other. He didn't mention the name, he didn't mention the channels, but everyone knew what he was on about. And basically, what he said was, he thinks it's disappointing that certain people that call themselves fans have these channels on social media and profit off their lack of success, basically. I'll try and find it in a minute, basically, on YouTube or something like that. It'll be somewhere. If I look now, big up to Football Brownie, Melina, and the Assembled as well. Hope we're all okay, keeping well. Again, it was an unexpected stream. This wasn't planned at all, but I sort of felt I have to sort of. It pissed. Seeing what I'm going to show you in a minute as well actually hacked me off. And you see the time because I've got the screen share the tweet about it's going to have the person's name and everything. I'm not hiding nothing, and you make your own mind up basically if you think it was preempted or not, just in case. Not that YouTube got that. Here we go. Let's see if I can find it. This might be it actually. I need to. I think I'll have to go into this, ain't I? His adverts are uploaded. The adverts out the way. Right. Bear with me a second, just a split second. Ivan, I can come on if you want. I'm barely saying the same thing. I mean, Arsenal fans. I'm not. This isn't about the actual matches of the aftermath of a certain fan who used to be part of aftv. I'll reveal all in a second for anyone that doesn't know basically what's going on. I need to screen share this as well, don't I? I need to stop this one and do that, do that one, share. Let's see if you guys can see it. Yeah, I'm going to enlarge it and then we'll play it. This is the incident that took place a few years back at the university in question. This is what, a minute 23 seconds long. This is Hector basically having to dig at aftv. And yeah, and then we're going to fast forward back to what's happened tonight, basically. Literally 5 minutes, by the way. What happened tonight happened 5 minutes after the full-time whistle. That was that then, but obviously before I go back into that, this is I'm assuming a news sub or you've just come across the channel. Again, if you're new to the channel, for anyone that's regular, everyone knows my thoughts on Hector Bellerin. As a player, he ain't good. I've said he ain't good enough. I've even recently gone on to say it's an absolute insult as an Arsenal fan that he has a number 2 jersey and things like that. I don't back up what he is as a player. But he does make, going by what's happened tonight, it's sort of the point he made about as a fan making profit off of failure. Their success is based off their failure. if it weren't for the failure, but it begs the question. Obviously, everyone will say, well, if you weren't, if that's the case, why haven't you sort of, let's say as a mentality thing, then why haven't they sort of in the last few years sorted that out? That's a mentality thing that he's it had injected into him via the Wenger era, and even going forward now. It's like, but it's that crucial point of a fan making money based off a failure, and it's happened. It's cropped up again tonight. And to be honest, I did quote retweet. Basically, it's Troopz. I quote retweeted a tweet that he put out 5 minutes after the full-time whistle. I saw it like a few hours later. Sorry. And I basically quoted him, basically saying, really, basically along the lines of, I'm gonna put it up on the screen, get up on the screen now for you guys. Oh dear, I've got a screen bloody shit, haven't I? To be honest, Mike, I haven't seen DT's. I don't watch ATV religion like I used to anymore. I haven't usually watched it in years. Absolute donkey it is, to be honest. So I don't know what he said or so what if he said. God knows. The screen. Do that. I will send out links in a sec, guys. This is the initial tweet he put out. Hopefully you guys can see. This is what, again, as you can see, back again with Troopz podcast. Obviously, he's gone off to the States doing his thing. Fair play to him at the time. I thought, I've got nothing against him. Look at the time. 6:25 p.m. UK time, December 6th, 2020, via his phone. But notice that time, 6:25. When was the full-time whistle for tonight's early one's game? Literally, within 5 minutes of that whistle, Troopz has put that tweet out with a link with the product ready to go. And I'm going to show you guys now basically what I quote retweeted. And let's see if I can go back. Obviously, did the gif of no, because it's not, doesn't look good. And yeah, there we go. I'll get it nice for you guys. Right, here we go. I then obviously my quote retweet to him. Obviously I've had no response, so he doesn't really care. It is what it is. Oh my god, this is a joke. Is this a joke? This is what I'm saying. I thought you was better than this, Troopz. Not exactly great timing either, with everything anyone associated with aftv gets accused of. This wasn't the best idea. Because it wasn't. Because I've been, and going back to that video I showed you at the beginning of the stream, it doesn't bode well. So I'll get the invite set up as well. It doesn't look good, and it rams home what Hector said. It confirms what most of the fan base, including myself in recent times, have said about that channel and people that associate that channel. Even though he's moved on from AFTV, there's still that mentality in there, and he's obviously, literally, as I said, to have it ready, the product ready to sell 5 minutes after kickoff. That product was ready to go well before the game even kicked off. So it was all preempted. It's like it's all ready to go, and basically he wanted Arsenal to lose, so he could then sell the product. Because obviously, if Arsenal win, he can't then go, "Oh, I'll turn out, hey." Well, I just need to go to Facebook and send Brownie and Harvey the bloody link. I'm assuming Brownie's got Facebook. If not, I'm screwed. I'm going back and forth. It does my head in. Oh dear, right, let's go to that. Send that to Harv. It actually lets me. Of course it won't, because it's a dickhead. Close you. Go to that. I need to fucking open that, don't I? For fuck's sake. So let's rate the bloody Arsenal Football Club. Big up Sam. It's been a while, Sam. Might be all keeping well. Who cares about Bellerin? It's not Bellerin per se, because as I don't know if you've been watching recently, I've literally just flipped on him massively. I've gone in at him like you wouldn't believe. I've said it even last week during the Wolves game. I said it's an absolute fucking insult that he has a number 2, things like that. So I'm not on Hector's side as a player. And I know you get on with Troopz and all, but the timing of it, literally 5 minutes after the game finished, that the product's there, boom, off we go. And suddenly, in the most of it, all he's filming, going, "Oh, I'm and literally that 5 minutes later, bang, boom, off you go. It doesn't bode well. Now, yeah, Bellerin is literally the worst right back in Arsenal's history. Of course he is, and that's what I'm saying. He's an insult. He has the number 2, but I used the Bellerin reference. I used Bellerin as a reference to what he said a few years ago, and then seeing what's happened tonight, and it does my head in. It's like the timing as well. It's just like, yes, we're in a fucking we're in a fucking mess at the moment. 6 defeats out of 11 is fucking not good enough. It's relegation form and this, that, and the other. But don't go fucking straight away. 5 minutes, boom. If it had been a day or two, you could. It is what it is. But 5 minutes after the fucking final whistle, it's like, there's a brick wall. I'm going to bash my head off it, because it's just you're fucking you're feeding what he said, and everyone that's been anti-aftv and Troopz, this, that, and the other, it's just proven them. One sec, bloody hell. I will be sending a link over one sec. I'll minimise everything, but it's just proving. As far as Hector's concerned, it's proving him right. That he says that all they care is making money out of a bad situation and things like that. It doesn't. Oh my god! But yeah, Sam, if you've been watching recently, you know I'm not Hector's biggest. Now everyone knows I'm not Hector's biggest fan by a long shot. Can't stand the guy, especially when we've got players like bloody Ainsley and Cedric who can do a better job in his position, be it wing back or actual out and out fullback. Just letting everything load up, like I send over in a second when it loads. There we go. Once it sorts itself out, thank you very much. Oh, I would do if it did it, but okay. Let's do that. Okay, you're doing that. Okay, let's do that. Doing it now, Brownie, and I'm doing it now. What the fucking names are? Harvey, that's it. Post. That's that. This won't be a long stream, by the way, guys. Well, that's the hope anyway. Because I need some sleep. Let's be honest. But I'm just not in a place after seeing that. It's made my mindset even worse, let me say. Right. So I hope, Sam, you haven't left me a dislike for doing this, but I've just got to not vent out, but get my opinion across on the mat. Because it was, as I said, if you'd Troopz or anyone in the associated TV had done something like that, say during the week, like midweek onwards and all that, Tuesday, Wednesday onwards, whatever, you can go, it's not spoiling, maybe they've actually did it, whatever. But the fact it's literally 5 minutes after the full time whistle, it's like it's ready to go. Like, oh, for fuck's sake, seriously. It's not helping the situation, and it's proving everyone against him an aftv right. But anyway, just going to bring in not really, Harvey, who looks half dead. You all right?
Yeah, you all right?
Been better. Hey, at least you're not in a relegation battle like us.
Yeah, with the PE teachers you all called him.
Fucking yeah, this is the thing we were saying yesterday. Because of the Man United West Ham watch along, and I was like, I mean, who was it? Me and Sam were talking about it, and we were basically saying all the grief you give Man United and Ollie, you're fucking you are. So, but yes, I don't know if that's another stream. And I was just like, oh my god. But it's people. No, again, up till that moment, about 5 minutes after I saw that bloody tweet from Troopz, I'm like, up till then, I was back, and he's back. I tried backing him, and like, that's just rammed it home, like what Hector's said before about profiting off loss, and it's just confirming what.
That's what I mean. Like United stand, Mark Goldbridge, he doesn't, do the same thing like that. He wouldn't make a Ollie out shirt. It's just disrespectful to the manager as well.
Well, especially when the fan base is so divided as well in the first place, and especially he comes from a platform aftv where it's obviously, as I keep repeating myself, it had that tag against it because of what Hector said and all that, and he's gone and done that. That's 5 minutes after kickoff. It was preempted. To have it ready that soon and ready to sell like that. Fucking like, seriously. I mean, standing in the church trying to have a laugh, but he said they probably had Arteta in once just in case we won. But the fact he was like, there's a clip going around the world as well, literally as he's watching, go, oh, more Arteta out, and 5 minutes later, boom, product. So, but it's just, again, it's, you don't know. We don't know, obviously, if they were, but I doubt they would make money off of it, obviously, to the extent where they would with this way around, and obviously with the bounty in. Another neutral perspective on this matter.
Hey, right? Hola, ¿cómo está?
Oh dear.
¿Qué tal?
Oh dear. What is going on at the club? This fan base is, oh my god, I can't do it anymore. Just really, I was pissed off already tonight, and then to fucking see that, I was like, and if it's June, I was doubting, like, do I do a stream? And I've just gone ahead and done it because I thought, fuck
No,
it.
you know what, right? I could possibly be in a new situation next weekend. The Cardiff Swansea game is next weekend, right?
Not having my point here.
But the bottom line.
Oh.
I know that social media is reactionary, yeah. But the bottom line is what people need to remember, and I know it's fucking hard. Right? The amount of times we lost against those six-fingered brother, sister, shagging fuckers down the road has been, right?
Oh god.
It's only worth 3 points. That's what you gotta remember. It is only worth 3 points. Now, I know it's hard. People are going to be people are going to be going to work tomorrow and get banter taken out of them. They're going to be on the internet, banter taken out of them. But at the end of the day, still another game you play them during the season, and it's only worth 3 points. You know what? I know that if you told me that if we lose against Swansea next weekend, and you tell me what I've just told you, I would probably tell you, look, fuck off.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. I was already agged about the result and the performance and what Arteta had been saying after the match, and then just to come off eventually after the stream and then go on Twitter and see that, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, I've seen it, but I didn't realise it was his Twitter feed.
Well, I thought it was.
That's why
I initially thought it was a Barstool thing, but until I click onto the profile, it's actually it's him. I was like, that's why I did a quote retweet to him. But it was like, fuck, have it ready, the product ready 5 minutes after you've gone Arteta out mode. 5 minutes.
The product would have been in process of being made before the game happened.
Yeah. Exactly, but also says they may have had an Arteta in one. We'll never know now, obviously.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he does say it's all about making money as well.
That would be their defence, wouldn't it?
But it's all about making money as well. Either way, it's all about making money. I'm just like, but again, going back to that clip I did show at the beginning of the stream, it goes what Hector says about this was years ago, obviously, when he was saying about AFTV, a platform, their success is based off our feigning. You shouldn't be putting your. If that's the case, you should have by now sorted yourselves out and got out of that situation. But at the end of the day, then the fans that then clocked on and went, okay, you know what? That sort of been a motivation for the players, because at the same time for the AFTV as well, they continue doing this as well to sort of ram it home. Like, yeah, of course we are. We don't care. It's just like you just paying for it. The fan base is what it is at the best of times. As you said, it's a bit Arsenal, the Arsenal fan base as well. It is known for being reactionary based off AFTV, based off AFTV as well. Sorry, one sec.
Right.
Based
I'll be honest with you. I just come off
itself.
a video call with my mate, and he is all, look, you're a Cardiff fan. Why the hell are you bloody talking about Arsenal time and time again? And my reaction, look, I'm on YouTube. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I'm on YouTube. Unfortunately, there's not much interest in bloody people following Cardiff City. And you would not believe, social media-wise, how much bigger Arsenal is worldwide than Manchester United and Liverpool. And because of Arsenal, it may well be because of AFTV. It may well be because of that.
I think that's the reputation we sort of, the Arsenal fans are getting, even ones like myself and other fans, other podcasts and we sort of that tag put around our neck before we even got started because of how successful AFTV is, and because it's seen as straight after a game as well. Usually when you're outside the stadium and you go, oh, no. We're all being brushed with that same brush, and I was just like, because they're the biggest Arsenal channel out there at the moment. And it doesn't bode well. And again, it divides his fan base, and it's just like best times.
Listen, AFTV, even I know, are on their way fucking down. They are on their way down. Let's be completely honest. They have gone so PC. Sorry.
Well, say PC.
You know, they got rid of the characters in which attracted people to their bloody YouTube channel. Right? Whether people like it or not. Do people really give a fuck, if I'm honest with you?
Some of the fan base do give a fuck that they're making money out of their club they love failings at the moment.
Or would it be a case of Troopz knowing that he would not be outside the stadium giving a big one in front of a microphone because he's in America and not give him fuck?
Well, I think so, because there's been no response on anything. They're not negative. From what I've seen, a lot of negativity come his way over this. And there's no response from him because he's out in the States. And as he said, he's safe and sound out of the way.
I don't get how you can go so long back in this manager for not even a year and then just turn on him like that.
I think it's an absolute disgrace, if I'm honest with you.
Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I'm not happy with the situation we're in, but I'm not like full on. Oh, Arteta's got to go. I've obviously said in the streams the logical thing. Once this gets on, it's going to come to a point where the board will just go enough's enough, and they're offering. But I'm not saying he has to. I'm not saying he should be sacked. I'm saying that what the board will have to do, because what's going to be cheaper in the long run, or the short term, sacking a manager or placing the entire squad. And we all know the squad needs replacing.
I'm going to repeat now what I said on the channel yesterday.
This is the thing. We all know the club, the squad itself needs a complete overhaul. It needs got rid of because it is crap. Most of these players are from Wenger's time, put into Emery's time as well. But what's going to be cheap? What's cheaper for them at the end of the day?
Right. Listen. Okay. All the fans should now accept that Arsenal, as a club stroke business, have always wanted to be self-sufficient. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Yeah, always been like that.
Right.
Even beforehand.
Right. And it's been accepted now. Okay? So, with it being self-sufficient, the Abramovich bloody spending of 2003, 2004, you can't happen now anyway because of FFP, right? But you can't change a team overnight.
No.
Okay, right. Now, if you look back in history, the problem is, unless you're 31 years old, unless you're over the age of 31 years old, which is when George Graham won in '89 the title, if you're over the age of 31 years old and you're an Arsenal fan, you don't know anything else apart from being successful, whether it is winning the league, winning the FA Cup. Correct?
That's and European Cup, Winners' Cup, whatever they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, from '89 onwards. Yeah.
Well, the Cup Winners' Cup was '94, wasn't it?
Yeah, '94. That's what I'm saying. From '89
Right,
onwards.
So if you were born or followed Arsenal from '89 to 2020, you don't know anything else apart from one level of success. Right. Unfortunately, I'm an old bastard. Right? Unfortunately, I'm an old bastard. And I remember the times where Arsenal were less successful than Everton, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the problem, if Arsenal are going back to those ways, right, it has to be a process. Right. Alex Ferguson, when he took over Manchester United, his first 4 years, 11th, 2nd, 12th, and 11th. George Graham, on his second year, finished 6th. Bloody ex-Liverpool manager, I can't remember his fucking name, before Paisley. Right? Finished 2nd. If that is a way the club wants to go, and you know what? I don't blame the club. COVID is costing clubs, stroke businesses, millions every single week. And until they know or have a better idea of when fans can come in to the grounds, Manchester United are losing between 3 and 5 million per week at every home game. How the hell can you project how your business plan would be within the next 12 months? You can't do it. You have to rein in the spending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've never disagreed with you on saying, especially in the pandemic, the situation everyone's in at the moment. Not just me.
Let's be honest. They bought Partey because they knew they could get him on a cheap.
Because of the release clause, yeah.
Yeah, they knew they could get him on a cheap. If they let it go another 12 months, then you could have had competition.
Yeah.
Right? So, we got Partey. They basically told, business-wise, you have to project businesses, forward thinking, at least the next 5 years. They don't know at the moment what COVID is happening. Right? So they've written the season off. As long as the club is in a stable position financially, they've written the season off. Next season is where it could all work out for Arsenal because contracts are running out. You're not going to have clubs in bloody Germany or clubs in Italy willing to pay the likes of Xhaka and Ozil the wages in Arsenal are paying. That was previous mistakes.
Yeah.
Can't fans have the patience, like they did in the 80s, have the patience to give managers time to build a team from scratch? Because he walked into an absolute basket case of a club.
I've always said he walked into an absolute shit show when he came in, worse than what Emery walked into in the first place. But also, just coming by this comment here from the assembled in the chat, what's the difference between AFTV and KSC both making profits out of Arsenal's downfall? Both. If you can see AFTV, how comes you can't see I've never said I've always been against Stan Kroenke as well. Again, if you'd watched the stream earlier, I went in on him, like him and his son, the whole setup, like you wouldn't believe. I've never been happy with him being at our club, even when he was literally trying to get shares and all that and trying to build up the so-called empire, basically, and take over fully. I've never wanted him at this club. He's just I never had a good vibe, and ever since he started getting since he got majority shareholder before he even became full shareholder, things have got progressively worse because he wants to be that, as you said,
the problem you had,
self-sufficient and all that.
The problem you had, Orion, is that Usmanov, and you can't blame him. Usmanov just got fucked off. He knew he wasn't going to get majority shareholding because Kroenke wasn't going to sell.
For whatever reason, yeah. Because that's fine. Because the reason why
the infighting between Usmanov and Kroenke
wasn't
good for the club in the first place.
And that shows how much he cares for the club, Usmanov, that he put the whole fight to one side and thought, "Fuck it, I'm slipping away for the good of the club." But at the same time, it's just like, we're getting progressively, everything he owns gets worse when he becomes majority shareholder. He's privatised the club, so he doesn't have to have these shareholders meetings with the fans anymore because he doesn't want everyone knowing his business. This is the guy that turned up to them meetings when it was.
It's no longer a PLC, I take it.
No, it's all private now. And basically,
so you don't have shareholder meetings at the end of each year and so on.
No, as soon as he forced all the remaining shareholders to set up the Arsenal Supporters Trust and all that to set up their shares and force them over, it was because he didn't want to do them meetings.
Yeah.
Because every time he turned up beforehand, he'd just sit there for the entire time. I'd be asked questions, and he'd never answer them. And was it the last one I ever did? Sir Chips Keswick stood up in his defence and said, "Don't ask him questions now. Go and download a certain app for a certain the Express newspaper, or whatever it is, and he's got an article in there, but you've got to pay for that." And it's just the mentality. And I was just like,
I agree. I used to be a shareholder of Cardiff.
Yeah, and
I used to be a shareholder of Cardiff, right? And then before you have a shareholders meeting, you have a report. You basically got the best part of a week to go through a report, right? And I stood up and on about Ole's bloody spending with the same agent for 14 fucking dodgy Norwegian players who were shite, right? But then, all of a sudden, within a few months later, the club owner, forced us all to sell our shares at a site price. I made a fucking loss. I bought my shares when they were in old Division 4. Do you know what I mean? Right? But it's a way of shutting rumours, myths, stories, and everything else out, really. But hey, I love Stan the bits. And what he says there is absolutely bang on.
I was about to say that.
Absolutely bang on.
Literally, he says Kroenke have made funds available. It's how those funds have been spent. That's the real problem. And again, he's got to look into that. Why is it with the money he's invested, we're in a situation? Why is it?
Right. It's very similar to Cardiff, right? Very similar to Cardiff. They get a CEO in. Okay, so you have the owner writing fucking blank checks, basically.
Yeah.
Right? That's basically what it is. Writing blank checks. There you go. Boom, 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 boom.
Because the thing is,
it's up to the CEO or whatever bloody title they call, up to them to make sure that they do the right fucking signings and do it right for. And the problem is, years ago, you just had the chairman or the owner and a manager. When you got all these transfer panels or bloody transfer fucking things, right? What comes into it then is a lot of fraudulent activity. And I'll say that, I don't give a shit. I would not even use the word allegedly because I know, right? what will come? A lot of fraudulent activity will come into place when you got transfer panels or bloody transfer fucking, you know. And Raul with Arsenal, Raul was that bloody person, and that's why they kicked him out. Arsenal valued Pepe at 50 million. All of a sudden, 2 weeks later, Arsenal signed him for 75 million.
Yeah, literally, Stan says that in the chat, to put that in the chat as well. Literally. And again, this is down
Great
to
minds think alike.
He's got because he's put his son in charge, Josh, in charge of things at Arsenal and other franchises, whatever. But he's the face at Arsenal when it comes to the ownership. He's got to ask his son, well, hang on, I'll put you in charge. Why are we in this situation? Why aren't you dealing with it? What have I got to do? Have I got to come over myself and deal with it, or what? And also, the assembled in the chat as well. It says the point I'm actually trying to make is until KSE is removed, the AFTVs and the most negative and positive fan channels will exist. It's part of and parcel of the entire club.
I think there's a link. To me, as a non-Arsenal fan, AFTV have gone very, very PC, right? And I think there's a definite link between the club and AFTV these days. I don't know what you Arsenal fans would think.
Well, if you say, I say that because when that thing went off with Claude back in the summer, Arsenal completely separated themselves from AFTV. So we don't associate.
It's quite easy to separate yourself, but whether or not, you know, it's all a PR game. PR machines within clubs these days clubs plough millions in the PR. Their PR these days.
Yeah. Oh, I'll just have a rummage. Oh dear. I'm just.
Let me tell you a story, Ryan. Yeah, about transfers, and we'll go back to the Aaron Ramsey transfer, right? Aaron Ramsey was basically all signed up to go Man United, right?
Because they put the tweet.
Signed up.
They put the website. They announced the website.
Peter Ridsdale, the cook, Peter Ridsdale, was in charge of Cardiff after he bankrupted Leeds, right? Because he forced a board backhoe against Salmerman. So Peter Ridsdale, come on. Now, I was working within the football agency who represented Aaron Ramsey at the time, right? Now, Man United wanted Aaron Ramsey in January of 2000 and when did we reach the cup final? 2008, January 2008, right? But Aaron Ramsey's parents stepped in and said, no, we want him to finish his Welsh education, Welsh language education, because Aaron Ramsey is a Welsh speaker. So the agreement was, okay, no problem. We'll wait until the summer. As Cardiff was progressing quite rapidly through the FA Cup on that year, they got to the final. And Aaron Ramsey was getting on to the TV screens of a lot of football audiences as we were going like the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, so on. The guy was 17 years old and he clearly one class above everybody else. All of a sudden, Arsenal come into it. But Manchester United took Peter Ridsdale. They had a quarter-final in Barcelona of the Champions League, and they took Peter Ridsdale on a private jet to Barcelona. I'm not saying what went on, but things went on. And I would say fraudulent activity went on because it did. Right? Arsenal then approached us and said, what's the deal with Ramsey and Manchester United? And we told them it's not a signed deal. However, it's more or less thereabout. They said, how much would it cost us to just talk to Aaron Ramsey at the time? They paid us £500,000 for us to give him the opportunity to talk to Arsenal. He then went to talk to Arsenal. He said, yeah, no problem. I'll be honest with you. We had a good few espresso martinis when, after that £500 hit the company account. No problem at all. Right? He then spoke to Arsenal and Arsene Wenger. He comes from there and he said, look, I want to join Arsenal. No problem at all. Okay, no worries, Aaron. No worries at all. We'll sort it out. We went on the phone to Peter Ridsdale. And he said, Peter, Aaron Ramsey in the summer. Yeah. It's all sorted for months. No. It's all changed. What do you mean it's all fucking changed? He said. This was all on loudspeaker, right? Our office was laughing like fuck. I said, what do you mean it's all changed? He said, no. He's had a meeting with Wenger and Arsenal. And he wants to join Arsenal. You can't fucking do this, blah, blah, blah. I've already sorted. No. He's our representative. He's our player. We heard what you've been going up to. Basically, fraudulent activity. Manchester United were going to be paying Peter Ridsdale over £1.5 million if Aaron Ramsey went to him. Right? That is, when you have like middlemen and people in between, a company, a club owner and the manager, like transfer fucking boards and all that shit. Unfortunately, fraudulent activity does come into it. And Raul is a
he's
absolute perfect case of that, and to the detriment of Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Assemble is asking in the chat, does anyone know why Raul was sacked yet? Well, the rumour is basically, rumours and not ever been proven, but Tim Lewis was bought. Eddie was going through some paperwork, this, that, and the other. He noticed some irregularities in the paperwork for Pepe, but he's not clued up enough to prove it was what he thought. So he's gone to Josh, showed Josh and Stan the paperwork. He's They've then gone off and approached Tim Lewis to become a part of the board member. Brought him in, and then literally, first thing he had to do as he walked through the door was, oh, by the way, I know what your job is. Can you sort of look through these, see if what I think is true? Then come back to me. Tim Lewis has gone off, read through it all, and confirmed that basically what Edu's suspicions were all along. That basically Raul was taking backhanders left, right, and centre for certain deals if he's working for certain agents from his little black book, like Pepe, because obviously Pepe's agent is linked with Raul. I can't remember his name now, but basically, yeah, and also you've got the other guy that he's linked. Raul's linked with Tevez's agent. I can't remember his name now. Kia.
Kia. Tevez and who's the other Argentinian guy now? The West Ham, wasn't it?
Yeah, but so basically, when Tim Lewis all confirmed that he's gone back to Josh, and Josh has gone to his dad, and they've basically come together and basically got as one to approach Raul, and basically gave him the heave. Oh, well, this is the evidence we've got. You can either go quality, or we're going to expose you to the world, basically, for what you are. And obviously, he's gone quietly. And obviously, he's gone quietly. Hence why they went, oh, he's gone on good terms, and then hence his statement as well. Right.
Well, the thing is, people think
that's what I know, by the way.
Football, Mascherano, yeah. People think that football clubs are so professional, and I can understand that. Right? I'm going to give you two prime examples of how unprofessional football clubs can be. Right. Now, no, it was lower league. Don't get me wrong. It was a guy called Leo Fortune West, Cardiff, who were going to sign from Rotherham, I think, right, for 40,000. So Sam Man instructed us, look, okay, offer them 20. Offer them 20, they refused. Okay, offer them 30. We offered them 30, they refused. Okay, we'll meet the asking price, he said. Offer them 40. Well, unfortunately, we instructed someone within Cardiff City, and they actually offered them 40 400,000 rather than 40,000. Right? Obviously, Rotherham accepted, the deal went through. The last time Salman found out about this was when the money left the Cardiff City accounts into the, what the hell, 400,000? You know, that is unprofessional. Football clubs can actually be. And another example is that, don't know if people remember a guy, people follow lower league, Peter Thorne. Yeah, Peter Thorne, we represented Peter Thorne. He went to go to Cardiff, and the club, Robert Earnshaw was on £1,000 per goal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam Mann instructed his sidekick to do the same agreement with Peter Thorne, which was £1,000 a goal. We were representing Peter Thorne. Unfortunately, there was a type error in the contract offered, and he actually offered Peter Thorne 10,000 a goal. Right? So we were doing these negotiations around the table, so on, and Peter Thorne offered it. He said, "Look, lads, you're not saying much. Can we have a chat?" We went outside, and Peter Thorne said, "Look, lads, what the fuck?" We said, "Keep your fucking mouth shut. You're on 10 grand to go, not 1,000 to go." Right? Right? Okay, no problem. Went back in, signed the contract. Within 2 months, there was an argument between Peter Thorne and Robert Earnshaw. And Earnshaw was like, "Why the fuck ain't you passing to me? You fucking scoring all the time." It's because I'm on 10,000 a goal. Robert Earnshaw said, 10,000 a goal? I'm a club's top goal scorer and I'm on 1,000 a goal. So they went back to Sam Mann and he said, "What the fuck?" You know, he all kicked off. He was mutiny within the bloody... This is just how unprofessional football clubs can actually be. Edu, but Raul... There's a link between Raul's dodginess and Edu, in my opinion, going on my experience.
Okay. Well, when the assembled again popped up in the chat, he's saying Barcelona got rid of him for his transfer dealings. Cronkies knew what they were getting into, basically. And maybe to put that more likely they did, like you say, clubs aren't all innocent. There's no innocence in football anymore, let's be honest.
The football game, I agree, loads of industries. The football game is the most dodgiest, corrupt fucking industry
of course.
Ever. I've ever been in.
People also have to remember as well, Edu came in 6 months. Is it 6 months? I'm trying to think now. But 6 to 8 months after Raul was brought in and Vino was promoted when Ivan left. And obviously Spen was outed back in the winter that summer. That winter before Edu came in in the summer. So maybe again, as I said, the Conkies did know what they were getting into. And when obviously Edu's and seeing what he's seen and it's all kicked off there, maybe they're trying to play deaf, dumb and stupid. So when obviously Tim Lewis has come in, or Tim Payne, whatever his name is, and they've gone and he's confirmed what Edu's suspicions were, maybe they've had to play the old deaf, dumb and stupid, and that's where they've gone to him and gone, "We've been caught out here. We need to let you go."
On the other hand, right? Let's be honest. On the other hand, could it just be another line of management in which they can throw under a bus? If things go wrong, or it's his fault, get rid of him.
We are going on, let's be honest. We're fucking in a relegation battle. In 11 games in, we're in relegation form. You know yourself,
and people in the chat should know anyway. I was dead against Arsenal, given a 31-year-old who, in my opinion, before COVID shutdown, his all-round game was fucking bollocks. He may score a penalty, which would cover up his bloody all-round game. Given a 31-year-old a 3-year contract on £350,000 a week, fucking crazy.
Stan, again, Sam brings up, Aubameyang was getting a £45,000 goal bonus on his old contract. So imagine what it is now. And yet he's not scoring, the irony. The irony behind all that.
But doing goal bonuses, I've always said, doing goal bonuses makes players greedy. You know, Lacazette come out on Twitter or whatever, accusing Pepe of being greedy and not passing the ball. I tell you what, if I was on the kind of goal bonus Pepe is probably on after that bloody transfer, I wouldn't fucking pass the ball either.
Plus, let's be honest, Lacazette isn't helping himself either in his current form. But I'm just. But just going back to the Troopz, I think it's bad timing and in poor taste as well. It just doesn't look good, and especially the brush that's already been hard on him in the first place for him to then go suddenly. The thing is, there's a product for you guys.
But the thing is Troopz legally linked to aftv anymore?
Which he's on literally, I'm on YouTube on my TV, and the first thing that's come up is he's on there having an interview with Robbie tonight.
Yeah, but that's only because of views, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Oh, of course, but the whole point of him going to the States and coming away, going to Barstool, apparently, what they've all led us to believe is that he can no longer be on aftv from a certain date.
Yeah. So he's not really legal. Well, it's not. You know, aftv could come out and say, look, he's nothing to do with us anymore.
No, but say Barstool go after him and say, hang on, this is the agreement. Even Barstool could give him a warning or have a go at him because he's gone against whatever contract they had in place. Because obviously the whole point of him going to the States and going to them was to come off this.
Yeah.
But the second he goes out, he's on aftv. And he's obviously then before that fucking sending these cheap tacky shirts for like God knows, I don't even know what the price.
Anyway. Is. Do you want some good news?
Oh, we can try.
Over here, Owa is going to Arsenal in January.
You said this in fucking September.
I said it in the summer. Did I say it in the summer? I said.
You said in the last week.
Go in January. It's now been reported by L'Equipe or L'Equipe or whatever you call it. It's also been reported by Daily Mirror as well.
I don't believe it. I don't know what to believe anymore. But even then, is Arteta going to be here by then, though?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I think it would be actually really unfair if Arsenal don't give Arteta this.
Again, me asking that question is not me saying Arteta out. That's me asking the question of genuinely, if we were to lose on Sunday against Burnley, 4 points ahead of them, then could be 16th, 17th by then as well. If the results go against us, are the board going to start panicking and go, and then press the eject button and then restart again?
No, I think the board will panic, but they will bring forward their summer signings to January just to keep the fans happy.
Well, the whole thing of this season was to get us back and competing for top four. We're nowhere near it.
This season was always going to be a write-off because the contracts are going to be running out in January.
We've got so many contracts running out. That's the thing. We've got David Luiz running out. We've got Mustafi, Socrates, Mesut. I'm trying to think now.
You know, if you add all that, you're talking easily 400 grand a week.
Yeah.
You have to be. Even more. I mean, Mesut also alone will be 250.
No. With Mesut Ozil's 350.
Right.
He's on 350, but not Hector. David Luiz is on about 90 to 100k now because his contract he got this summer just gone. Mustafi's probably on 90 odd k. Because there's another thing that this whole setup as well over the years is when we sign players, we give them stupid wages straight from the off.
Is that a London thing, you think? Right.
Taking Chelsea at the equation, I don't know. Because I say that because the reason I say I don't know is because when obviously Poch came in at Tottenham and he started that project there, the likes of Ericsson and Vertonghen and all that were bought on a very low rate. They were like 20k, and they had to earn their wages to go up in new contracts and all that.
Yeah, no, it dawned on me a couple of days ago. I'm thinking, why, when I seen Man United's bloody wage bill, and Liverpool's wage bill, and I see Arsenal's wage bill, I think, is it a London thing? Is it, because of the cost of living in London compared to the cost of living in Chester or whatever?
It could be off. I don't know. Until this will work for the club, I have no idea. I think no one else, unless you're working, as I said, you're working at a club, no one else will. Sadly, the assembled again. I think not confirmed, but the captaincy is in his contract as well. That it's a dangerous precedent that he is setting by making a personal calls to fans connected to the fan channels. Obviously, we're probably inferring to Aubameyang and Troopz and all that after the cup final, things like that.
Unfortunately, football
There's always a waste of space.
The PR machines within football these days are massive, absolutely massive, because it's not just the UK audience now; it's a world audience. But can you imagine? Because of the amount of goals Aubameyang scored last season, in my opinion, most of them tap-ins or fucking penalties, right?
Yeah.
If he allowed him to go on a free, can you imagine the fucking shit that the club would have got? So they panicked, in my opinion, they panicked, offered him what he fucking wanted, and now they're seeing a fucking the downside to it.
Yeah, I mean, before we move on, big up to Alex Griffin in the chat, the Ipswich fan, good friend of mine, literally just coming in the chat saying big W for Spurs and rubbing a salt in the wound, like as you do. I remember that when Norwich beat you, don't worry. I remember that, don't worry. But yeah, I'm just this comment here from Stan the Man in the chat as well. It said, including his signing fee, Willian gets 220k a week. I mean, literally, it's just ridiculous wages. I mean, the guy's 30, 31 for fuck's sake. He'll be 34 by the time he leaves us. If he sees that,
it's kind of like, okay, look, we've made mistakes in the past, e.g. Ozil, and we won't do them again. And then 6 months later, they do the same fucking mistakes again.
Also going into the chat. Going in the chat also from Arsenal fan circles on here earlier on. January signings is the only way the board show faith in Arteta. Waiting until the summer means they want to see him do magic like he did last season. Nothing I've seen shows that could happen.
Well, if I can come back to that, OR is boycotting training, boycotting playing in games at the moment. That's 1 month before the January transfer window. It is no coincidence. No coincidence, in my opinion, that he's doing it so close to the transfer window.
Oh, of course.
Now, if you read El Keep or read the Daily Mirror or anything else over the weekend, it's been coming out the last day or two. This all has been pre-planned by OR and his representatives. Now, whether he will go to Arsenal is a different thing, because Juventus have offered some midfielder, but the midfielder told him, "Fuck off! I'm not fucking moving. I'm earning enough in Italy." So,
I mean, also the Arsenal misfit Steve over in Canada said, like I said during the watch long earlier, no one expected Leeds to go down. Why could it not happen to Arsenal? And also, the Assembly says mentioned Nottingham Forest as well under Brian Clough.
Well, Leeds were bankrupt at the time, or wouldn't they?
But on the verge of it, yeah, because the ownership at the time the ownership back then with Leeds was mismanaging how they were their financial book balance in the books. They had little dodgy things here and there, clearly, because the money they were getting didn't make out for why they're struggling, because they're constantly sending their best players, Ferdinand to Man United, Harry Kewell to Liverpool, and players at the big money pools as they're selling on, so it didn't make sense, and there's something dodgy obviously going on there, but it is what it is.
Right, can I come back to Gary's point? Yeah.
Which one was that? The one before?
The last one. The first one.
The first one we did before, yeah?
No.
Oh, the one that's just come in?
Yeah. Right.
A player who quits on his team is what Arsenal don't want. We have enough of that already. doesn't meet the criteria we need.
Right, and you know what my response is going to be, and you know what my response is going to be.
Come on.
Aubameyang.
Yeah, people have noticed that as well. To be fair, people have noticed that, and they are digging at him now. That since he signed that contract, what's he done?
Aubameyang went on boycott.
By Dortmund to come to us.
There you go.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, if you want to force a move, you force a move. And you will do it. Because clubs don't want bad eggs within a change room.
Yeah, also going back up the chat as well, Stan the man, and they tried to hide his wages, saying Willian was getting less than what he was getting at Chelsea, but left out that they were giving him a £10 million signing on fee. Oh, my club. But again, it goes back to what you said before about the mismanagement of their funding and all that. Obviously, with Stan obviously investing his own money now, lots of party deal and things like that. And throughout the years, we've got the Granit Xhaka transfer, Mustafi. It's just been misused massively. But again, he's got to be asked questions himself, like why he's put his son in since the Granit Xhaka and Mustafi deals as well. He's put his son in charge, and things aren't getting any better; they're getting worse. Why is he not putting his son to one side and saying, "Well, hang on, how's it getting worse? I've left you in charge. Do I have to come over myself and fix this mess?"
Right, it happens in every single club. It's just unfortunate. It gets more bloody public when Arsenal, because of the size of the club, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But going back to obviously the Leeds comment as well, I'm sort of like that mindset of, because obviously we're all saying that Arsenal won't go down, this, that, and the other, but we could, because Leeds had a decent team. Let's not forget they had a decent team when they went down as well. They had Alan Smith, Viduka, Ian Hart, Nigel Martin, fully fledged internationals as well. And they just
I think they're gone by then, didn't they? I remember they won one whole season without winning an away game.
I think that was the season they went down.
Was that?
I think so. Because
but I tell you, if you want facts, and I am the bloody thing of facts, right? The team who started Leeds' downfall was Cardiff City. When we beat them in the FA Cup, they were top of the Premier League. The moment we beat them in the FA Cup, they went down, and they went as far down as League One. And Rio Ferdinand was interviewed by BBC at the time because it was on TV, and they said, because they went to Istanbul. I don't know if you remember, two guys got stabbed and stabbed to death in Istanbul.
Yeah.
And they said, was Istanbul your worst atmosphere? He said, are you joking? We went to Indian Park last week, he said. And they never recovered from that FA Cup defeat. I'll stand by that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think we're the similar. You think about it. This sort of start to the season has been coming for a while, and the fact it's happened, it pisses me off even more. But it is what it is. But fans saying that obviously we won't go now because of the players we've got. Clearly, games ain't won by the players. It literally comes out if they had the character and the mentality on the field, and they don't. These players, for whatever reason, don't have that mentality. And
look,
we could be.
Can I pick up on Stan's point? Yeah,
we could be. Once that, I say we could be this time next season seeing Arsenal playing Championship football, and we could do a Leeds and never come back up for 16 odd years.
No.
Because of the way this club's run.
No. It's completely different, mate. It's completely different, yeah? Right? Stan's point...
But that's what I'm saying.
Hang on. Stan's point is completely right. There are players who... Let's be honest. When Willian was on the market for a free transfer, there were many other clubs involved. Okay? So the offer he would have taken would have been far more beneficial to him. And
financially,
more than likely, it has to be a clause of how many games he played, because he hasn't played fucking many good games for him to be kept in the team.
1.5 out of 11.
But relating to how Leeds were at the time and to Arsenal is completely different. Leeds were absolutely fucking bankrupt. Peter Ridsdale was gambling on them staying in the Champions League.
Yeah, once they fell out in the policies,
the moment they fell out of the Champions League, they were fucked. Arsenal are doing the right thing, whether people want to agree with it or not. As a business, they're doing the right thing. Self-sufficiency.
But what I'm saying is that the mentality. What my thing is, the players that obviously we've touched on already in this stream. The recruitment itself.
The recruitment is completely different, bro.
Yeah,
the recruitment is completely different.
We're recruiting players of a mentality that don't give a shit.
No, I agree on that. I understand that. But recruitment is. They would have only offered Willian a ridiculous transfer if the club could afford it. That is the point I'm trying to make. You know, I just wish football went back to the bloody old days where it'd be one chairman, one manager. Yeah. Because some of these signings Arsenal have made or other clubs have made, I don't even think the managers bloody signings, if I'm honest here.
Well, literally
and yet the managers get the blame for it.
I mean, it's well known under Emery, Socrates wasn't his signing, Torreira wasn't his signing, Pepe wasn't his signing. And no coincidence that apart from Socrates at the start, Torreira at the start did get a bit, but then literally Emery sort of messed about with him as well, and literally because he tried to find the excuse not to play him. And Pepe itself, straight from the off, basically didn't even hide it. Just went, okay, no problem, not playing you. Oh, you got 2 goals for me, got me out of a mess. Oh well, you're not playing the next game. And it's like the questions again with this summer. I don't know. A few transfers. There's a few transfers that don't make sense with Arteta as well, because if there are Arteta signings, I mean Cedric for example, we got him on a loan at January. He was injured. He plays 2 games. We give him a 4-year contract, but he doesn't start a single Premier League game. He plays the occasional Europa League game. Plays well and gets dropped. So then there's that doubt there. Was he an Arteta player that Arteta wanted in the first place?
I remember Harry Redknapp. I think he was at Portsmouth, wasn't he? I think he was at Portsmouth. And the chairman wanted to bring in somebody like a transfer fucking guru or whatever. Right? And Redknapp basically walked out. Because he said, no, I am not having players being fucking pushed onto me. And then, I remember also at West Ham as well. I know you have a few West Ham fans in your family, right?
Yeah.
I remember Sam Allardyce coming. He said, "I walked into the training ground one bloody day. All of a sudden, these 2 fucking players, these 2 people turned up and said, and then the board said, "Oh, we signed for you." I never knew who the hell they were.
Sounds about right, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had to come up on the screen, on my screen anyway.
But it does open the door to fraudulent activity. That's my point all the way through, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a comment in the chat. It hasn't come up on my screen, so I can't put it on the screen, guys. But YNOT.SentimentFC says, "Isn't Bellerin profiting off failure every time he puts on his Arsenal shirt performance, or we lose a game like we did today? None of us get paid 100k a week." Yeah, he does. That's what I'm saying. He does. I'm not saying he doesn't make profit. He's not profiting off failure. He should be off. But anyone that's a regular of this channel sees my live streams on a regular basis, I cannot stand Bellerin. I've even gone to say recently it's an absolute insult that he has the number 2 jersey and things like that. I cannot. He's not a right back, or right wing back, what you want to fucking call it. He cannot defend. When he gets forward, he cannot fucking cross. I
watched those 2 goals early on, yeah, again and again and again and again, and Harvey will tell you because we were talking about it. The first goal. What the hell was Bellerin doing? Bellerin should have been out on a flank.
He's a brain-dead footballer. He don't know how to play
Bellerin should be
football.
out on a flank, yeah. Going basically toe to toe with Son. What was he doing? And then all of a sudden he falls in his arse. He gives Son so much space in the first place, and then all of a sudden he falls in his arse, gives him open goal to fucking shoot at.
Yeah.
The second one.
Don't get me started on that one, but
The second one, I just think it's kamikaze fucking playing.
yeah.
Right? They're seconds away from a half-time whistle. They 1-0 down. Right?
Yeah. Different game if it's 1-0 at half-time. But
They
okay.
1 man down as well. 1 man is off a pitch having fucking treatment.
Yeah, it's half a leg, yeah.
Why the hell did so many Arsenal players gamble to try and get that equaliser at that time of the game?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking crazy. And then the ball Kane approached the Arsenal penalty area.
Tip-tap
There
bomb.
was 4 attackers against 2 defenders.
Yep. Because overcommitted.
Now, Harvey will tell you, right? Because we spoke about this earlier, Harvey, yeah? Right? The stand that I got to was under 16s with Oxford United. I didn't go any further, right? For one reason or another, probably, drinking drugs. But never mind, that's another thing, right? Right? But you're always told from a very young age, just hold the bloody position if you're down to 10 men for whatever reason. Just hold the position. If Arsenal went in 1-0 down at half-time, you could say, right, lads, there's only 1 goal in it. Let's fucking get out there and get to them. As a result, kamikaze fucking gambling by naive bloody players, especially in midfield.
Naive, experienced players as well.
Exactly. Led to them going in a half-time 2-0 down.
Oh, dear.
No, I'm not even an Arsenal fan. I mean, I get frustrated by bloody
watching it.
that kind of crap.
But the thing is, there's obviously people that obviously fully are behind Arteta still, and that's fair enough to them. And again, I've not turned on Arteta. I'm just frustrated. I'm questioning these decisions, this, that, and the other. But they're saying, "Oh, second half we had all the ball." Like, of course, we had all the ball. It's a Mourinho thing. He's 2-0 up against a rival at home. He's doing what he did in the first place: sat back, soaked up the pressure, and just let us do what we had to do because we weren't threatening enough. If it had been 0-0 or 1-0, if it had been 0-0 or 1-0 half time, it's a different second half than what we saw. Possession doesn't win games, which proved it tonight.
I'm watching the game back now. It's just
oh god.
It's the second half. I've already seen the second goal, but you were making the runs, you were making good attacks, but you just didn't have the final product every time.
But again, that
Harvey, what did you tell me earlier? I mean, okay, when I was bloody under 16s, fucking Oxford, it was early 90s. How old are you? And you just hold your fucking position, surely.
Yeah.
Harvey, one of your
especially
teammates.
if you 1 man down.
If your fullback had done what Hector done, what would your reaction be?
I think it'd be not just my reaction. I think it'd be the whole team's reaction. I think everyone would be a bit pissed off.
Yeah. I didn't see anyone on that pitch digging out Hector as oh no, we've conceded. Oh well, tap on the back. Next.
But this comes back to my point, which I've been saying for a few weeks now, which Arsenal really need. If I was Arteta, the kind of attitude player they need in the changing room, do a fucking swap deal. Get rid of Lacazette. Bring in Diego Costa. It may only be for a season or 2, but I tell you what, Diego Costa's nasty bastard attitude and winning mentality
is what we need.
And somebody who can put their head to the ball up front and hold the ball up That is definitely what Arsenal need.
Yeah, we need something. Let's be honest.
Should have got Suarez. Should have got Suarez at that time.
You were gonna go there. Oh, don't remind us of that fucking fraudulence as well. Oh dear. Even then, that got to be questions I've asked by Cronky at the time. But anyways, moving on. Sentiment FC says, I would like to investigate Bellerin, envisage Bellerin and Willian in crossing practice and dummy runs after the game and early tomorrow morning. The Assemble saying that am I the only person who realises that the match winner is either on the bench or not used or at home, referring to a certain Mesut Ozil. Oh dear.
Unfortunately, a lot of these Arsenal fans are bloody, we're living in I get accused of being living in the 90s and the 80s. A lot of these Arsenal fans are living in fucking 2012.
And there's Sentiments FC, he goes on Ozil can't win a time cost. And to be honest, yeah, Ozil's gifted wise, he's our best technically gifted player, but he doesn't show it. Let's be honest. He's getting older now, so he's never really adapted to the league either. He's not what we need. Let's be honest. But I get what obviously has been said because, as I said, he's technically our most technically gifted player we've got. But at the same time, it is what it is. Gary in the chat is also saying, in my pre-game, I had many fears. They all came true. And I was speechless during the watch-along. Ryan's, that's why I had nothing to say. And he'd already said it, basically. Sentiment FC says, Willian Bellerin, brain dead, fat quits. That's being polite, to be honest. The Assembled says the Arsenal fans, January might be the time Arsenal fans hear everyone as a clean slate again, or can they make Bellerin a better player? Bellerin, he's been here 6-7 years. As I said, it's an insult. He's got number 2 jersey, in my opinion. But anyway, considering lots of Lee Dixons and players like that had that number 2 beforehand and what they did for the club. Again, Steve in the chat says Adams would have gone over to Bellerin and punched him in the face for that performance there and then. Yeah, literally. Well, again, we ain't got them sort of players that do that. We all heard that story.
Exactly. That's where my thing of Costa. He may not have the bloody pace he used to have when he was younger and at Chelsea, but he still has the winning mentality, the horrible bastard attitude, And if we all know that we all know that Atleti want Lacazette at a cheap fucking price.
Yeah.
But Gary's a fucking Lacazette. He's a has-been. If you can straight swap, but it's a mentality in the bloody changing room.
Yeah.
That is the difference in which you're going to get. I tell you what, Diego Costa would have had Bellerin by the fucking balls the way he performed today.
Well, I was going to say, we've all heard that story of when Lee Dixon first played his first North London derby in that 89 season at White Hart Lane. Literally, people start, that's Tony Adams, the ones that will come through the ranks and all that, or whatever, knew what the North London derby was all about. And basically, he thought he'd obviously done something wrong, like tied his laces or whatever, put his socks on the wrong way around. He literally, straight away, without even being told, that was Tony Adams put up to him, pinned him against the wall, and basically said, "You're a Northerner, you're not from around here. This derby means everything. You fucking give it all, or we're gonna have your fucking balls on the fucking steak after the game."
A lot of these players, right? And I'm not just talking Arsenal players. I'm talking players from many clubs in the Premier League at the moment, right? They are fucking lucky there are no fans there. They are fucking lucky there are no fans there, because I tell you what, a lot of them would be bloody chased out of fucking stadiums at the moment.
There's a sign that looks like clip, so 1 second. Let's see if I can find the clip and put it up on the screen. So I'll find it.
Right. Can I go back to... Can I respond to Sentiment FC comment?
Which one is that? There's quite a few.
The latest one. The latest
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Right. the reason why we're doing that, with players crosses coming variation, right, is basically because they realise that Aubameyang or Lacazette is fucking shit in the air. So they have to do low crosses, which takes 50%. Right. I played fucking, at times I used to play bloody right wing. There can be millisecond chances of getting that ball across, right? Harvey probably backed me up on this. Once you get that little bit of space to get the ball over, you fucking do it. You don't even know if it's going to be long, if it's going to be a low cross or a high cross, right? You just get the fucking ball over. If the tactic is every cross is fucking low, then you drop in the opportunity of anybody getting on the end of it, at least by 50%. It's either going to go low or high, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it's quite fucking hell. Let's do all them. I'm going to chat.
Would you agree with me, Harvey? I don't know what position you play, but surely you know yourself. To get past your marker, sometimes you have a split second opportunity to bloody get that ball in and whip that ball in. You don't, even as a provider, you don't know whether that's going to be going across a fucking floor or in the air.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, again, there's a good point from Toby. He said, Arteta said everyone gets a clean slate, but he didn't even have a chalk or no tactics, no style or play. Oh, dear. A blue whale saying Arteta out now. One of our new subs, the looks of it. We're not updating that now. Sentiment FC saying Don Howe, Jules Graham, real disciplinaries. And again, there's nothing we don't.
Let's look at Don Howe's bloody record.
Yeah, but I'm more in reference to George Graham. When George Graham came in, unlike Arteta, George Graham came in and said, gave him a chance over the summer period in that his first full season. And whoever wasn't good enough, he didn't care if they were a big name or not, they were at the door. Look at the list of players he got rid of.
And where did George Graham finish in his second season?
Yeah, but in the first season, the following season, he got them to win the title.
Right. No.
In 89. He came in 86, 87.
Right.
He came in 86. 86, 87 is when we won the League Cup. 87, 88, where we had that bad season. 88, 89 is where we won the league. His third season where we won the league.
86, 87, he had a job.
Yeah, the job. And in that
87, 88.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I take that back.
See, I know my history. I may not have been born, but I know my history. Oh dear. But yeah, it was that no nonsense. He gave him a season or whatever.
And can I bring up this tactic?
Charlie Nicholas and all that. He got rid. They were gone.
Viv Anderson as well. Can I bring up this tactic, which is starting to fuck me off? Listen, as a non-Arsenal fan, and unfortunately knowing a lot of history now on how football cycles and everything else, right? What is starting to fuck me off now? Arteta is not making it easy for himself, right? Now, I said this in Sam's podcast yesterday. I understand why he wants to go 3 in the back, right? Now, this 3-4-3 formation. When I was younger, every team would do 4-4-2, right? Finally, 4-4-2 was exploited by the continental teams because they put an extra man in midfield. Right, so it's 5 it was 5 against 4 in midfield. Or if you wanted to do it in the middle of the park, it was 3 against 2. Right? Now, it's been time and time again. I have watched Arteta play a 3-4-3 against 5 players in the middle of the park, whether or not they are 2 defensive and one attacking. Yeah. But obviously, you're always going to be overrun when 2 players are against 3. Now, Klopp, Pep, and whoever else who brought in the 4-3-3, the new 4-3-3 formation, playing 3 up front, in my opinion, is getting found out now.
Yeah.
If I was Arteta, and he believes in the 3 in the back, I would go 3-5-2, play Aubameyang and Lacazette as a pairing up front, and drop one more into the middle of the park, because that is where Arsenal are fucking struggling. I don't know what other people would think, but, you know, when you've got 3 against 3 in the middle of the park, you'll have a better fucking chance of playing 2 against 3.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So everyone, because it just seems fashionable. Because there's formations that's successful, so we all have to do it. And it's just like that's not the
But
case.
who else plays 3-4-3? Nobody.
Oh, Harvey's gone. Fuck, I don't know.
Nobody plays forward midfield anymore.
No, not for the midfield, but he does that.
So when you've got in the middle of a park, when you've got Partey and bloody Xhaka or whatever, playing against 3 on you're always going to be overrun. That's basics. That's fucking basics. So
yeah, I mean, I'll just go into this comment and read this comment out from CELAW AFC. He's saying Emma Smith-Rowe, Nelson, Ainsley McNiles, and Eddie smash it midweek again, and the reward is getting completely dropped for the same dog shit players, doing nothing in the week. In the week in, week out, Arteta is clueless. I think I think he's just got favourites now. He's like best friend mentality sort of thing. He does have the head in. Also, Stefan says, "Can you imagine Ozil and Jules Graham? For fuck's sake, yeah, wouldn't last fight. He wouldn't be here, put it that way." When they see I'm praying for low-driven crosses, Brownie. We could get a corner or deflection off it, or by luck lands at our players' feet.
With the greatest respect, that's fucking nonsense.
I know that he's just messing about. Don Howe was a defensive coach for Arsenal in England. And then Tabe saying, "Brownie, are you playing youngsters in the starting 11 if you are Arteta?" They're playing better.
Right. Can I come back to that?
Yeah, go on.
Because one thing that's puzzled me with Arteta is because Wolves put a bid in summer for Ainsley Maitland-Niles over 20 million.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Arteta put a block to that. Whatever his reasons, he put a block to that. Right? And if Arteta wanted to use Ainsley Maitland-Niles, then fucking use him.
Yeah, exactly. That's nothing.
That is the bottom line. Otherwise, you should have let him go, and that could have been the difference of Arsenal having War in the summer or not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, true.
If you put a block on Maitland-Niles not going to Wolves, and fucking play him. Otherwise, that could have had you over with additional bloody fees his agent wanted in the summer. Bizarre.
I mean, yeah, you've got to.
I am listening. I'm just having a read through. I am listening.
Yeah, you've got a massive point there. I mean, it doesn't make sense now. If he's the one that's blocked the move for him to leave, why is he not playing him on a more regular basis? Why is he not getting a chance at either right wing back or wherever in the pitch? His only games he's getting from a starting perspective is at Europa League level.
Exactly.
I think it was yourself or someone had said in the watch along earlier, if they were Ainsley and all these other players that weren't getting getting dropped basically, like Reece Nelson's and all that. About them, they'll be putting transfer requests in now, ready for January. Oh dear! Oh, why is he waiting for Burnley to come back as well? Settlement FC says George Graham was a title-winning defensive coach and instilled a proper winning mentality in the team. Ask Adams, Winterburn, Kevin Campbell, Alan Smith.
Hang on.
Exactly.
Hang on. 1 second.
There
Let
we
me
go.
come back to some of these bloody comments. Cheeky bastards in the chat. I tell you. 1 second.
Oh dear.
Oh fuck! Ah, fuck hell. Right. Okay. Here we go. Sorry, mate. I just had to. Not my phone. Okay, go on.
No, I was talking about the comment from Sentiment FC in the chat on the screen here. George Graham was a title-winning defensive coach and instilled a proper winning mentality in the team. Asked the likes of Tony Adams, Winterburn, Kevin Campbell, Alan Smith, etc. And as you know, I've had Kevin Campbell on here before, and every time we mentioned Kevin, when George Graham came in, what he did for the club and what he did at the time, because of the mess he came into.
Yeah.
And it's a similar thing because obviously the only difference between him and Marteta at the time when he came in was George Graham had managerial experience at Millwall.
Or did you? I mean,
no, in the sense of he had a job before.
That's
what I'm saying. Whereas Arteta had nothing coming into this as a first team coach. That's the only difference, and it's sort of showing in the sense. And then the other sort of you're seeing now, the other difference is that George Graham had that ruthlessness no matter what. If you weren't giving everything for the badge, if you didn't give everything for the badge on the training pitch or on the pitch itself, you were getting dropped. I mean, Paul Merson said one day in training he was messing about.
You know the difference. I think people in the chat may either support my comment or not. But the difference is, when George Graham went in, yes, he had limitations on how much he could spend. There's no way at the time he could outspend Everton, Liverpool, Manchester United at the time,
No.
But what George Graham done was, but he brought in young, hungry players.
From the academy as well, not just outside the club.
He did not bring in older, sell-by players on whose wages. Right? Now, I tell you one of the key players. Now, anyone who did follow our show back in the day, in George Graham's time, you only were allowed one substitute, right? Now, so that's where you had many. If a keeper was sent off or injured or whatever, you'd have a substitute bloody player coming on with a goalkeeper top, right? But one of the key players during that 89 title-winning season was a guy called Kevin Richardson, who could not even get a game for Everton. He brought him in for pennies, basically, in this day and age, right? But that was a type of young, hungry, focused players. That's the difference between, with George Graham days. George Graham brought in young, hungry players. Yeah. And in a way, I can see that is what Arteta wants to do.
but he's not using them in the game.
Maybe the likes of fucking Adu and Raul or anyone else is bringing in the likes of fucking Willian is going against his philosophy.
But he's still picking the likes of Willian though.
But it's different. It's different things. But it's different times now, right? If bloody Raul or Adu offer Willian a contract which says, right, you have to fucking play 75% of the games, what the hell is Arteta going to do? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, this is a response to, obviously, because the Assemble said in a previous comment that George Graham is overrated, this, that, and the other. Stefan come back and said George Graham broke Liverpool's stranglehold, hardly overrated, just pissed off. He went spuds, which I can understand.
From 1981 to 1988, that league title did not leave Merseyside.
Exactly. Yeah, literally.
Everton or Liverpool. Right?
What does that tell you? Exactly. That's, and again, maybe I'm saying, you know what Stefan's saying is obviously he must assemble whoever the person is.
And I'm going to give you something to think about now, right? Because I know you're younger than me.
I know, I've said as well, before you say that, I've said with the George Graham going to the Spuds as well. I think that was more of a FU to the board at the time.
I agree on that.
Because of how they sort of left him to right under the bus over that whole brown envelope situation. If they'd
how many have we
backed him,
how many have in the chat?
There's 8 people watching.
Right.
It's quite up and down.
Chat, and I'm going to ask you this question. Would Arsene Wenger have been as successful as he was had he not inherited the George Graham back five?
Of course not. Blatantly obvious. If you look at that 98 team, the back line was David Seaman in goal, which George Graham brought in, and that entire back line plus Keown was all George Graham players.
And another thing as well, throughout his tenure, in my opinion, as a non-Arsenal fan, throughout his tenure of being an Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger only ever brought in 2 great defenders. Sol Campbell on a 3, and Ashley Cole, who come through youth ranks. Every other defender Arsene Wenger brought in was a fucking dud.
Yeah. Just going through the chat, so one sec. Kevin having a debate on and off between themselves. The 1-0 wins require discipline from players and managers and coaches. We don't have that. Yeah, we don't. I think again, this goes back to the players that have sort of overlapped now, 3 managers plus Freddie with the caretaker role as well. And it's sort of they think they're untouchable, but sooner rather than later they're going to be gone, and hopefully over time, if Arteta turns this around, this current form and gets us back pushing at the table, and because again we're always going to have these bad times, but bloody hell, all in one hit. I mean, it is what it is, but hopefully he can turn it around, and never know. I want him to not just prove me wrong, because my big doubt at Rio's side was the inexperienced side of him. And he's going to have to grow. For him to turn things around, he's going to have to grow and start dropping some of these players that aren't performing for him. And maybe, just maybe, pick his own captain. Be it whoever else. If it upsets Aubameyang, so be it. There's the door. Goodbye.
But, right.
I know what you're
Arteta isn't bringing in the players he wants to bring in. What fucking hope? He's a dead man walking.
Well, we'll find out. From what we've been reported now, we'll go find out in the next few weeks anyway.
What's been reported, man?
No, from what you were saying about obviously lots of Alwar and that Dominic. The Dominic, what's his name?
I'm not even, with my speech impediment, I'm not even going to try.
Name. Yeah, fucking. Basically, he's called him by his first name, Dominic from Salzburg for 25 mil.
But Austrian league is bloody, no better than a bloody Scottish league, is it?
Yeah, but you never know. You might get the odd jump here and there. You never know. He's
And I
having a
tell you
look.
another thing on about if you want to go about the George Graham defensive thing, right? Whatever happened to the offside trap?
Yeah.
Whatever happened? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because the players never got given. The ones that wanted to be coaches never got given a chance to do the badges at Arsenal
I know, but
and do that sort of thing. And
back when I played, you know, the back four, the amount of bloody arguments I would see at halftime or full time in a changing room because one of the defenders didn't bloody, line up properly on the offside trap. Whatever happened to the offside trap? That was one of the key components of a George Graham defence.
Yeah, and in response to Sealaw AFC, he says Wenger created the invincible squad. Squad though, no, and none of those were Graham's signings. I mean,
No. Can I come back on that? I want to come back on that.
I'll come back. I'll let you come back in a sec.
Yeah,
My thing is, there was a couple players still at the club, with George Graham players, like obviously near the end of their career, Ray Parler, Martin Cannon basically come to mind. But majority of the squad was Wenger's squad by then. But also you got to remember the players that he inherited, the David Seamans, your Adams, your Keowns, even Steve Baldwin took the brief time he was at the club, Winterburn, Dixon's. I'm trying to think now. Oh my days, my head. Ian Wrights and all that. They passed on what George Graham had given them, installed into them. They passed it on to the next generation of players. The likes of the Henrys, obviously Sol Campbell, a bit more because obviously he came from that lot down the road, so he had to revert his mentality, sort of in the sense of you're an Arsenal player now, not a Tottenham player.
But very similar to a point you make, and I want to, right? Listen, Wenger, when did he come in? 96, 95, 96, whatever it was, right? Premier League started in 92. That was when money started flowing in. Yeah. Right? Now, you're on about Wenger created Invincible. Let me tell you something. Had Wenger not have that famous back five in which Arsenal had
in the first place,
right, they would not have had the kind of prize money and the advertising money, because they would not have won leagues after leagues after leagues. Yeah? So, very much what you were saying, right, is that, okay, the Invincibles, which was what, 10 years later, 8 years, 5 years later, whatever it was, they would have never happened had the previous prize money not have been ploughed into the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah? And the previous prize money, the base of the prize money was from George Graham's famous back five. No fucking doubt about it.
Settlement FC also saying the offside trap died with VAR.
No, I disagree. I absolutely disagree. The reason I disagree is because VAR is failing the supporters at the moment. Okay? But if you were a striker, Harvey will, I hope, would back me up. Before, a striker would ensure that, right, you go shoulder to shoulder with a defender, right? And as long as you've got the intellect to know where the ball is going to be, so be it. Now, we know that VAR has a thing about maybe a fucking elbow is fucking in front or whatever. So you know what you do?
Or scoring with your hand, things like that.
Right? You know what you do? You give the defender a fucking yard. Harvey, am I right? You give a defender a fucking yard, and you've got a yard of space to run into. That is where you would beat fucking VAR. Am I right, Harvey?
I wouldn't know because I don't have VAR in Sunday League, but probably, yeah.
Come on, Harvey. Hey, if you're a striker, right, and say a free kick out on a wing, right? Whereas before, you go shoulder to shoulder with a defender, right? But unfortunately, VAR's come in. You give a defender a fucking yard, and you know every single time you'd have the beating of a defender if you had the intelligence.
Yeah.
So VAR, the excuse of VAR is nonsense if you got intelligent strikers.
Sadly, we only have we have two, but they've only just come to the club, and I think we have three, but one's been excluded for some reason. One's coming back from injury, and one's just coming to the club himself. All the others are brain dead and defending, and don't have to do that.
No, listen, back in the day of bloody George Graham, Tony Adams, it was you go bloody shoulder to shoulder the defender. But the way to beat VAR is you give the defender a yard.
Yeah.
If you know, if you're intelligent enough, you can beat VAR and you beat the defender. Because the defender is always going to be looking at you in the corner of his eye, where the fuck you are going to go.
Yeah.
Am I right, Harvey?
No, you've got a point.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Also, Settlement FC says George Graham nearly went invincible himself back in '91, but Adams was in jail for one for the Chelsea game. 3-2. Was it 3-2? Wasn't it?
And if you but back in them days as well, what you have to remember is that George Graham, the first division, you had 4 more games as well.
Yeah, exactly. And as you mentioned before, subs weren't what they are now as well, and it was So
I remember watching that '99 game at Anfield, right? And throughout my younghood, because Cardiff were in your Division 4, fucking shite, right? I had a soft spot for Everton. And every season, my dad would take me to Goodson Park, or he took me to Highbury in '87. That's another thing. But I hated Liverpool. I fucking hated Liverpool. So on that 89 bloody game at Anfield, I could hear, even as a 11-year-old boy, I could hear the chant of the old-fashioned chant from the Arsenal fans in the away end: attack, 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 attack. And then all of a sudden, Michael Thomas goes through. I have never bloody screamed in all my life. People can go on about Aguero, bloody league fucking champ. No way that 89 bloody league title win for Arsenal was by far the best for any football fan.
Best end to a season
in their lifetime.
Best, as Henri says, it's the best. That moment was the best end to a season. Period, and that was filmed. He said that after the Aguero moment and everything else. But everyone goes on about the Aguero moment because it's Premier League, whereas '89 wasn't Premier League. Because apparently football didn't exist before the Premier League. Apparently, it wasn't.
No comment. I remember being a paper boy, reading all the papers. Everyone bloody against the fucking Premier League. But never mind.
Yeah. Look what it does.
What's he saying now? I blame VAR.
I blame VAR because that offside and handball today, the rules change more often than a pros in bed. Not even the players know it. Kevin De Bruyne, in post-match interview against Liverpool FC, even said they don't know the rules.
No, I don't agree. Honestly, if you're a defender and you know the striker is much quicker than you, you give him a fucking yard, right?
Yeah.
Well, that should be the opposite around now because VAR has been introduced.
It should be, yeah. But the Assembled also says the offside was used when defenders defended. Maldini plays like Maldini defenders. The defender's role has changed, basically.
Well, like what? Like what? If you can catch people being offside, you catch people being offside. There's no.
It's just too heavy. I think certain defenders now so late with VAR, especially Premier League, are a bit too lazy. It does come across like they heavily rely on VAR helping them out a bit instead of actually doing their job.
There's no difference to VAR or a referee. If a fucking bastard is offside, a fucking bastard is offside. No, that's right.
Yeah. I know.
The only difference is that the referee pushes the bloody blame onto some fucker in a bloody office in somewhere. That's the only difference. If a guy is offside, the guy is offside.
Yeah, true. That's it. Oh dear.
Harvey, you're younger than me. You're much younger than me.
Probably into the chat. No.
But come on. You know, he is in an age now of what the youngsters are being trained at. So you tell me, what is being fucking taught to you guys at that age?
What, defending or attacking?
Well, either, because I just think it's common sense, if I'm honest, sir.
Well, the defending is a straight line on the halfway line. We push up to the halfway line to keep I think just before the halfway line, just in case they went offside.
But like on a free kick, if your team were if your team conceded a free kick, 10 yards from your area, well, what's being taught now?
I think what we do is we keep, I think, 2 players up, or at the up top, just in case we get it out on a counter attack or something like that.
Yeah, no, but how the bloody offside? Is the offside rule ever been taught these days or not?
Nah, not anymore. I've seen videos of it, like when Barcelona did it against PSG, but it doesn't really get used much anymore.
But surely, if you got VAR should actually help. If a defensive team does an offside rule, VAR should fucking help, because it would take out the bloody the mistakes if the referee thinks an attacker has beaten the offside rule. Surely,
I think it would.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Right, hang on, Brownie. Do you know?
Right, during Wenger's successful years at Arsenal, when the team he had, was it missing? What was missing from the team, or was it just bad luck that they were never able to win a Champions League trophy? I think the 03-04 season was our best opportunity. It would have been given to us on a plate if we got through Chelsea. That's purely down to switching off and bad luck in that game. Because to this day, I say we knocked out Chelsea in the 03-04 campaign. That semi-final, we got Monaco. Our team pushes Monaco to the side like you wouldn't believe. We then play Mourinho's Porto, and again of our team. And by then we'd have won the league unbeaten as well. So that high of that, then going to win a Champions League, we'd have got over the line with that. Maybe fast forward 2006, we should have won the Champions League, but it was bad luck there again as well. They got to the finals. We fucking grafted to get to the final. We played Real Madrid at Bernabeu first leg, 1-0.
What's that? You're on about the... Listen, I'll be honest with you. As a non-Arsenal fan, I can only remember the final.
Yeah. We played first.
And I can remember Kenny Ken in his Burberry cap. His Burberry
he's on the DVD,
cap.
yeah. He's on the actual Arsenal review DVD, yeah. For that season. But yeah, we had Real Madrid in the first knockout round. We knocked them out after. But we went to theirs, won 1-0. Came back to ours, drew 0-0. The greatest 0-0 ever. It's been branded. Then we had Juventus. The following round of Vieira was coming back to us. So we won that first leg 2-0 at our place. Capello was in charge as well at the time. And this was a few months before Juventus got done for the corruption in
Yeah,
Serie A and all that.
I know.
And then we got the nice easy time for Villarreal. We made hard work of that, but we grafted. We got to the final. The best defence we'd gone in there, 10 clean sheets in the Champions League. The best defence in the Champions League that season. Obviously, Amy gets sent off. We got back. A few minutes later, we go 1-0 up. We're thinking, well, hey, about 15, 14 minutes to go. Bang, 1-0. Was it? Oh, fucking, what's his name?
Zaghi, wasn't it? No.
What was that?
Zaghi, no.
I'm trying to think now. It was Henrik Larsson with the assist, but Etche was offside for the first goal. And
Henrik Larsson for the Juventus.
Yeah, for that season, yeah, they signed him for a year or something, or 9 or whatever. From whatever club.
I must have been either pissed or shagging the ex-wife, but never mind.
No, but basically, yeah, it was 1-0. He'd come on, and a few minutes later, obviously, he provided the assist. But as he provided the assist, Etche was like a fraction offside, and they showed in the replays. He goes on to score anyway, does Almunia at his near post there. Then about 5 minutes later, on the other side of the pitch, on the right, on the right hand side, what's his name? Belletti comes flying down again. Larson linking up with Belletti on the right hand side, and again does Almunia at his near post, nutmegs him and everything, and literally the game was over. But again, it's bad luck because he switched off, and it's literally got the personal goalkeeper, first choice goalie, got sent off for what was not a red card offence because of the technically in the rules.
Listen.
In the rules,
Can I just stop,
if the play goes on, the play goes on. One sec. What did I say? In the rules, if the play had gone on, which it did, Ludovic Giuly scores that goal 1-0. We still have 11 men. With 11 men at that time, apart from that attack, we were the better team at that point. So we could have still got on, come back on one.
You were the better team. However,
but Wenger did make a mistake.
Goalkeeper should have been sent off.
Oh, right. I'm not saying he took. The reason
I may be completely wrecked at the moment. But when was it? 15 years ago. For 15 years, that goalkeeper Lehmann should be sent off.
The reason why I say he shouldn't have been sent off is because obviously the play sort of goes on and they score anyway, so he hasn't stopped the goal scoring opportunity or nothing.
You're on about double jeopardy, really, aren't you?
That was the rule at the time, yeah. But
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The rule just come into it. Double jeopardy. I understand the point.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Totally,
but he should have been sent off, bro. I'm telling you.
You know
what? One thing I would say, and I think Wenger made the wrong decision then in trying to fucking sort the team out after we sent it off.
Yeah, I've always said that's a mistake what he did. For anyone that doesn't know, obviously, in bringing Almunia on, he took off Robert Perez, our attacking threat, and just tried to. I don't know what he's trying to do, but yeah. Oh dear.
It is what it is. Listen,
it happened. You can't change what happened. It is what it is.
No, exactly.
I was a bit.
Any Arsenal fan is saying that the goalkeeper didn't deserve to be sent off. I think either fucking tie 2.0 or fucking.
Well, exactly, and as the Sentiment FC says as well.
Right. What's saying now?
The 2006 UEFA Champions League final was when the rot and the weak mentality started. And as the true legends were forced out of the club and technical ability of soft players came in, 1-0 Sol Campbell, 1-0, 2-1 Barca.
Listen, I don't know Arsenal history, so when did the Cronkies come into it?
Introduced. David Dean introduced Dan Kroenke and Usmanov to the club in 2007. And that's why, because they weren't.
Sorry, it kind of connects to that comment then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wrong one. That was not meant to happen. Oh dear. And back but yeah, I was responding to the comment of there was bad luck at the time. That there was 2 opportunities we should have done it, and by pure bad luck and switching off and bad. And
As an
whatever you could
Arsenal
call
fan,
it.
right? As an Arsenal fan,
looking
back now of the empty promises, and I know that you've had, I know that you've got family relatives who are West Ham fans as well, and very similar to what they are shouting about. Looking back now, did you ever want to leave Highbury?
I never wanted to leave at the time. Never believed, and I never believed the reason behind it was so we could compete. We could be competing with the likes of Bayern Munich at a European level and things like that. Because if you think about it, when we left, we was already competing at the European levels and we started getting competitive in Europe. In domestically, we were fucking winning the league every other season, if not every season. It was between us and United at the time. Chelsea had just come into their millions. So there was no need for us to move. We were competitive.
Everton are coming into that kind of thing, category now because of old Usmanov.
Usmanov's coming to the equation, yeah. He's found funding it,
they built a new stadium. As a Cardiff fan, the moment we left Indian Park to the new stadium, the heart of the club was ripped out. Absolutely motherfucking ripped out.
It's the same with Arsenal.
The problem we had, although was Highbury always seated before you left?
When we left, it was a full-seater stadium, but the full seats already came in on the back of '89.
Right. Okay. I'm talking lower league anyway. But the problem we had, is that sometimes people like myself, I wouldn't be able to tell my mates, oh yeah, I'll go to the game until maybe 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. But because we had standing, I know that I could still go to the bloody ground, buy a standing ticket, and stand next to my mates in the stadium. Right? This is where it hurts the atmosphere. Now you have all seated grounds. At 1 o'clock on a Saturday, I'd be lucky to get a ticket because all of a sudden, all these fucking new rules. But even if I did get a ticket, because it's all seated, there's absolute no guarantee that I'd be able to sit next to my mates. Hence the reason why the atmospheres in grounds are fucked.
Sorry, one sec. KSC or Cronky wasn't around at the club in 2005. It was literally in our first season of the Emirates. David Dean will see what's happening at Chelsea. He said himself he knew going forward for us to continue competing, we needed investment in the club, things like that. So that's why he introduced Usmanov and Kroenke to the club. But hence why in April 2007, after playing Man City winning 3-1 that night, he quit. He walked out because at the time the board were totally against it. They were totally against selling either of them, this, that, and the other.
I know yourself, right? If you were.
That's when the Rock. And again, that's when the Rock came when they started. That's when the Rock sort of set in with not 2005. 2005 we were still okay. 2007 the Rock actually set in. Well, some of 2007 onwards, though. But yeah, it is what it is. And when
it is what it is, but football goes in cycles, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've had them.
It be coming up to United not winning a league title in a decade soon.
Yeah. I mean,
Right? Liverpool hadn't won the league until last year. Liverpool hadn't won the league title for 30 years. Everton, 33 years.
and even
Right?
before, I
And
mean, if you go back to 89, before 89 that night, Arsenal hadn't won a league title in 18 years.
18, I thought it was longer.
71, we won the league in 71, and then we didn't win the league again until 89.
So during that time, you had Aston Villa winning the European Cup. You had Nottingham
Not the
Forest winning the European Cup twice. You had
Liverpool.
Everton winning the league and Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Football goes in cycles.
exactly.
And the quicker Arsenal fans realise this, the better for not just the fan base, but for the club as a whole.
Before we got things like, I'm fucking dozing off now. All I remember from the UEFA Champions League final is Sol Campbell giving us a captain's goal, giving us a foothold, and the gut-wrenching compilation that followed. Obviously, then winning the game and all that crap.
I'm not going to say anything about Sol Campbell. He won't be good.
And with that,
No. No comment.
oh dear, it is what it is.
No. Listen. What happened with Southend and the owner of Southend? I just think that. Anyway,
I don't even know what on now. I just know you got to give him a job. He was given a job and he didn't do well. Let's be honest. He gone now, isn't he? He's not in a job anymore, is he? Sol Campbell.
I don't know. I don't care. Just move on.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh, I'm gonna let things up because I'm literally like.
I'm trying to have a PC bloody channel, right? Come on, help me out.
Oh, right. I'm gonna wrap things up. Anyway, thanks guys, Harvey and Brownie for keeping me sane for the last couple of hours. Not rubbing it on me then.
Right. This time next week, yeah? Cardiff are playing Swansea. I could well have the same fucking mindset as you guys, right? Wanting to kill every six-fingered incest fucking caravan fucking bin, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I could. But
Oh dear.
after a few hours, it's kind of like you take a big deep breath and you realize that the game is only worth 3 points.
Yeah. Oh dear.
You know, as an Arsenal fan, London will always be red.
No, of course.
Right.
History
as a Cardiff fan,
shows that.
as a Cardiff fan, Wales will always be blue. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it could well be bloody a horrible time at the moment, but it's only banter.
Yeah.
Get through it after the next game.
Hopefully. That's the
Trust
hope.
me, man. I'm 42 years old. I've had a few South Wales derbies, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh dear. Sentiment Stain, by the way, he thinks it'd be a 1-1 draw.
Fuck that. Fuck that. I tell ya.
Are you at home or away next week? You're away this week.
You know what? I'm of your mindset. Every single fucking game at the moment is in neutral ground.
Was it? Oh yeah, because Wales don't have any fans in
Because we can't have any fans in Wales. We can't have any fans.
Yeah, no matter where in Wales. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, where can people find you, Brownie? By the way, your channel and all that.
Football Brownie on YouTube and on Facebook, and could well be about 6 foot under if we fucking lose to Swansea next week. But never mind.
On a lighter note, Harvey, where can we find you?
You can find me at United Daily Transfer News on YouTube. I mean, not many people are going to come from an Arsenal fan channel, but hey ho,
Yeah, you never know.
you never know.
I mean, I've gained the amount of subs I've gained. The majority of them can't be. There's no way the majority of the people I've gained on subs at least in the last month are Arsenal fans. In terms of, especially the views, I think last week's watch along against Wolves is over 1,000 views. I bet they're all rival fans, so it's not even. Yeah.
Right, listen. I
Major
need
things
to have
like
a number 2, so I've got to leave you go, yeah?
Oh, lovely.
I'll catch you later.
See you later. And let's we wrap up. Yeah, Ryan started a therapy session early this time. Bloody hell, yeah. Well, early for you, late for me. Bloody hell. Oh dear, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna go get some sleep. I'm shattered. I'm draining. I'm literally just going like that now. I don't know if I'm going to do anything later on. Because obviously Monday morning here in the UK, so I don't know what I'm going to do. If I'm going to do anything else later on now. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe, do smash that like button, do share the content around, do share this channel around all platforms wherever you can. Do go give Brownie a subscribe, give Harvey a sub as well. Tuesday, I'm probably going to do the watch along for the May night game, and obviously the group itself because of what's the implications of what could happen. Wednesday, looking to do the quiz as I said earlier. And Thursday, another fucking Arsenal watch along. Yay! We might actually win that one because obviously we don't lose in Europa League apparently. But yeah, it is what it is. Until then, until whenever, basically enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And as always, up the Arsenal.